Perfect. Recital of this amazing project that I've crazily embarked on. This project developed over the course of last year when I was locked at home and bored, I guess. And I was really missing live performance and my friends and being around people. So it's really great to be back and have like real people in this audience. This is also my first solo performance, so I don't have a redo button. I put out a few solo recitals last year, but if I messed up, if I had the chops still, I'd just take another take. So this is live, there's no redo. That's a little nerve-wracking. So the way it's gonna work tonight is the music that you're gonna hear is brand new. Some of it has been played once, maybe twice, but most of this is brand new clarinet music. I sat down by myself in December and I looked up every music department in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, and I emailed every single professor that I could, just call for scores. And all I asked was that the composers be emerging composers. so whatever that meant to them, and that they tell me some kind of story, because I was lonely and I wanted a story, right? And I got a massive amount of scores, well over 80, from all over the world. So these people were still creating and still making these things and sending them in, and I thought to myself, there's so much amazing music here, I have to play as much of it as I can. And so with the help of Professor Burt and my dear friend, Dr. Philip Rice, we narrowed it down to 40. Today you'll hear 8 of those. So, my last solo performance was a whole recital of clarinet and electronics in November of 2019. That was live. Did I say that? That wasn't my last solo recital, but my last live recital. So I thought it would be fitting that we start with clarinet and electronics. So there's one on this recital. And it was written by a UWSP student in our music ed master's program, Aisha Durst. So what I'm going to have, I asked the composers to make a 2-minute or less video about their piece. I'm going to let them talk about it on their own, and then I'll play it. So, great, let's play. Here we go. Let me know if you can hear it. Oh, no.
My name is Aisha Durst, and I'm the composer of Getting to Know Myself. Getting to Know Myself is a jazz fusion piece that portrays the story of how, as individuals, we went through the pandemic. Everybody had to deal with feelings of isolation or other hardships at some point or another. In the solo section, some people may choose to follow the style of the piece or do something differently. This is because during the pandemic, many of us chose different hobbies to pass the time because we weren't able to do what we loved due to the restrictions that were put on us. Personally, I played in pits and community bands multiple times a week, and when that was
It's been a night. 1 second. Hit pause, please. Did you try that?
Personally, I played in pits and community bands multiple times a week, and when that was
All right, we're having technical difficulties. I'll go ahead and post those videos online. We have had some trouble in Mickelson today, so hopefully the solo accompaniment works. they were telling stories about the pandemic. And the first few of these are just that. The next composer, Amanda Rizzo, is actually studies at the same university that the last composer on this program teaches at. So it's a small world, but let's see if this video works. Hopefully it does.
Hi, I'm Amanda Rizzo, and I'll be talking about my clarinet solo called In Search of Comfort. So, I originally started this piece before the pandemic, and I wanted to create something that was minimalist, aleatoric, and that really focused on long drones. I'm not a wind player myself, but I was always fascinated when wind players, specifically clarinet players, would play these long passages, and you could pick out all the overtones. I wanted to create that in my piece. And that's a piece of my original draft that I actually kept in the final copy. I thought that was really important because in the midst of writing this piece, the pandemic happened. And these aleatoric minimalist passages kind of evolved into these slow and dark, ambiguous places where we had to confront our feelings during the pandemic and we had to be in that place. So the piece does end and start the same way. And I wanted to kind of make it interpretive to the player and or performer. Does this piece have a resolution? Is there an ending to this piece? Is the ending happy? Is it a meditative ending? Is it calm? In the midst of this piece, we explore the B section where there's a lot of momentum being built and there's a lot of rhythm that's happening. Sometimes the player has to play something on the offbeat, and there are some metric changes that are kind of uncomfortable, but I wanted that uncomfortableness to be confronted in this piece. And I thought that was something that can be translated into a beautiful piece of music. And the great thing about solo works is that it's very interpretive to the performer. And so it's very interesting to see when different people play it, what are they pointing out? Which parts of the music are they emphasizing? Which phrases are the most important? And I really hope you enjoy this piece. Thank you.
pieces I got about the pandemic. And some have been written for projects that came from the pandemic. Some of them were written in different capacities for collaborations. Some of them were written specifically for this. So the next piece, when I got it, I was really kind of captivated by it. It was deceptively difficult, or is deceptively difficult. And the idea of a lost child, to me, was kind of alluring. And I met Sam. I've met with all the composers. I'll be recording all of these pieces and building a website to promote their works. So I met Sam, and he gave me some really wonderful insights into this next piece. So I'll let him kind of speak for himself.
Hello, my name is Sam Harmon, and I am a student at Indiana University studying composition. I wrote this piece, Musings of a Lost Child, to signify or show a very specific tone of angst and confusion. So this choice was made because I wanted the melody to really sort of be evocative and full of emotion, because it doesn't have any harmony beneath it to support it in any way. So, and this actually relates to the title, because the title does not have any real connection to the music. It was made after the piece was finished, but it was chosen because I wanted the title to have the same emotional response that the music gives. So there's no story per se, but it definitely still evokes the same emotions in the listener. So.
All right. I never know if it's like a problem with the video or the technology. All right. So I appreciate your patience with the little blips and bloops. Yeah, so we all know how it goes. Luckily, I will be recording all these pieces, and the point of this project, because I don't have any money to offer these people just wrote these pieces, and they took a chance and sent their little piece babies to me, right? And they don't know who I am. You know, I was just some person that sent out this call for scores and was like, write me a piece for clarinet by itself, clarinet electronics, for clarinet and narrator. I don't know why I did that, but I really wanted some pieces for clarinet and narrator, which we have tonight. And so as I started looking at all of these wonderful pieces, I started thinking that I really need to promote this and to bridge the gap between the people who are composing these music and the people who are performing music, the teachers. And what I do have is somewhat of a platform. And so I'm going to be recording all these pieces and creating a website and promoting, basically taking all of these people on a virtual press junket. I don't know. So yeah, just even with the little blips and bloops, they're going to get a recording that really matches their vision. So let's move on to the next piece. This piece was also one that I looked at and I was like, oh, I'll just put that together. It'll be no problem. It was deceptively hard. It's written by a young woman, a young student, and the concept behind the piece and the melodies really spoke to me. So I'll let her speak on her own behalf.
Hi, my name is Anna Higgins. I composed Ever Present during the late spring of 2021, just over a year since the beginnings of the COVID-19 lockdowns in the United States. This piece serves as a reflection upon the last year: quiet, concern, growing chaos. And then the cycle repeats itself in different orders. I hope you enjoy Ever Present.
One moment, there's water. Likes to hide in the fall. Alrighty. You ready? Here we go. laughing because I'm having a ton of fall read blues. And every time you recorded me, I would just sit on the edge of the stage trying read after read. So I'm just going to make you all do that since he's not here. All right, so this time of year is probably my favorite. I like cooler weather. I enjoy the Midwest during this time. And I like to be scared. But not like horror movies. Like, I'm not a fan of horror movies, but I like mysteries. And my defense mechanism when I'm scared is to fall asleep. So before I go to bed, sometimes I listen to really, really scary things. And that's something that made me really like this next piece, is it's spooky. I promise it's short, so I won't fall asleep. But I will get to the end. But this is a great Halloween piece. So I'll let the composer explain a little bit to it. And after this,
Hello, everyone.
I feel like in honor of spookiness, I have Hunter up there who's gonna put on spooky lights. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is William Harmon, and I'm the composer of the piece you are about to hear called Being for the Misfortune of Mr. McKee. Now, about the piece. The piece was originally written for an event sponsored by my university's composers forum called 2424. What this event consists of is a composer is given 24 hours to write a piece, and then a performer is given 24 hours to learn the piece. So about the title of the piece. The title is a parody of the Beatles song Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kike. And in my case, there's a lot more alliteration with Being for the Misfortune of Mr. McKee. That was just one element of my decision to use this title. It was also kind of a spur of the moment decision. It just sounds right. And it kind of fit with the Halloween theme that the organizers of this event were trying to cultivate with the pieces that were submitted. And something that's just a little treat for the performer, and the audience wouldn't usually know this, but now you do, is that the tempo marking is mysterious and haunted. So enjoy.
All right, let's get spooky. Okay, here we go. Yeah. If you get scared, don't scream. piece for this first half, and I'm going to take a short little break just to catch my breath, drink some water, take a nap because I'm scared. But don't go away because it's going to be a really brief intermission. We have two pieces after that, and that will include the first Big Black Blotch new music project. And I can't remember who it was, but one of the composers, there were so many, asked me where that came from, and I got lost in the shuffle and I can't find it. And so I thought I'd talk about a little bit about why I call it that. When I was getting all the scores in, I was really overwhelmed. And I was like, what did I get myself into? There's a lot of things happening. And I made a commitment to do this back in December when I was like cold and alone and bored. And there was no vaccine. And now it's the middle of spring and I'm just getting more and more. And I was just looking at everything. And I was just like, look at all these little black blotches. And then I thought, oh no, this is just one big black blotch. And so I Googled it to see if that name had been taken. And the only thing that came up was really sad, cancerous kind of post. So I'm going to cheer up that research. And I like the name, so we're keeping it. So anyway, the last piece is written by an undergraduate at Rutgers who studies with one of my favorite composers, Amanda Harvard, who the faculty wind quintet years ago, we played one of the her wind quintets, and it was quite enjoyable. And I love this piece as well. It's really quite neat and a neat piece to end the first half. So let's hear from Michelle. Hopefully it works.
Hello, my name is Michelle Greco, and I am a 21-year-old composer who is a senior undergrad at Rutgers University's Mason Grove School of the Arts. The piece for me that you're going to hear today is called Hidden Magic. It's a short work for solo B-flat clarinet, and it was written before a clarinetist at the school that was a senior at the time when I was a junior. We were both paired together in a collaboration between Mason Grove's composers and performers to write a solo, digitally premiered work during the coronavirus pandemic. Because of the lack of live performances and the vibrancy of being on campus, the 2020 through 2021 school year was just so difficult for all of us students. However, within this difficulty, there were many moments for creativity to come about and collaborations and opportunities that wouldn't have been possible before if it unfortunately wasn't for the pandemic. Therefore, Hidden Magic just describes those diamond in the rough moments, those just bursts of great opportunities that kind of come out of a terrible situation, and just finding the magic and creating your own happiness out of hardships. So thank you, and here is Hidden Magic.
Let's take a really quick intermission, maybe 5 minutes? Is that a deal? Okay, I'll see you back in 5 minutes. Thank you. All right, let's get started. I don't know how to flash the light. Flash, flash. You ready? You want to stand for your mouth? All right, we have two more pieces that I'm really excited to play for you. And I made a friend over at intermission, and I asked him if he'd join me. So Dr. Matthew Markham and I agreed to do some of the narration. And this narration is so fun and so wild. Yeah, I think let's just dig into it.
Sure.
Yeah.
In all students, 13 ways of looking at Blackbird, we ultimately see the power of the image in different circumstances. You see, the Blackbird isn't a symbol. A symbol would imply that it has some sort of preconceived meaning, some sort of definition going into it. Blackbird is somehow a blackbird. But in this case, Blackbird is only an image. It's transplanted into a variety of situations, into a variety of characters, moods, some absurd, some profound. And the meaning of the poem is one that is very cubist. It is one that is comprised of a sort of fragmented representation of reality through the Blackbird existing in so many different contexts and situations. And ultimately, that's what I try to do with the music, is to convey that feeling of multiple perspective, and to also convey a feeling of non-linearity. This piece was conceived actually as a compositional exercise. It was the winter of 2020 to 2021. I was extremely tired, and for most of it, I was in bed, so I couldn't really use the piano. This is an experiment in monophonic composition as well as character portrayal of the various moods and characters of the stanzas, which, by the way, are all very haiku-like, very calm, still, and that was an element that I tried to convey through the music. So I hope you enjoy this program as it non-linearly moves through the cycle of poems, stanzas.
1. Among 20 snowy mountains, the only moving thing was the eye of the blackbird. Two. I was of 3 minds, like a tree, in which there are 3 blackbirds. Three. The blackbird whirled in the autumn winds. It was a small part of the pantomime. Four. A man and a woman are one. A man and a woman and a blackbird are one. Five. I do not know which to prefer, the beauty of inflections or the beauty of innuendos, the blackbird whistling, or just after. Six. Icicles filled the long window with barbaric glass. The shadow of the blackbird crossed it to and fro. The mood traced in the shadow an indecipherable cause. Seven. O thin men of Haddam, why do you imagine golden birds? Do you not see how the blackbird walks around the feet of the women about you? Eight. I know noble accents and lucid, inescapable rhythms. But I know too that the blackbird is involved in what I know. Nine. When the blackbird flew out of sight, it marked the edge of one of many circles. 10. At the sight of blackbirds flying in a green light, even the bawds of euphony would cry out sharply. He rode over Connecticut in a glass coach. Once a fear pierced him in that he mistook the shadow of his equipage for blackbirds. The river is moving. The blackbird must be flying. It was evening all afternoon. It was snowing, and it was going to snow. The blackbird sat in the cedar limbs.
Come to the end. Well, not really. I've got quite more of these. We come to the end of part one. Thank you so much for coming. A deep thank you to all of the composers for taking a chance on sending me some of your, hard work. So I'd like real quick just to give a huge round of applause to all of these composers, because composing is hard. One more. Special thanks to a few people. First of all, Dr. Matthew Markham, thank you so much for collaborating and see him again for a few other pieces this semester. I particularly want to thank Phoenix Bartles and Alex Malsetta for helping me, not just tonight with the technology, but they volunteered to be my arts administrators this semester, which are helping me email a lot of the composers, helping me set up things. And I'm in turn teaching them, we're going to teach them how to, work websites, do some video editing and stuff. So a huge thank you to them for assisting me. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. So thank you. All right, hold on. Let me make sure this tree works. This is a hard piece. It's a really good piece, though. Okay, it works. Why don't we go let it go?
Hi everyone, my name is Joe Sarah, and I wrote the next piece that's going to be featured on this program today. My first real opportunity to perform and improvise as a young clarinetist was in church. This experience put me on the path to becoming a composer. As a way of looking back on that time with gratitude and looking forward with optimism in my development as a composer and performer, I wrote 4 etudes based on American hymns. Each tune featured in this piece has been part of me for a long time. When I was looking for hymns for this piece, I took care to include tunes from a few different sacred music traditions, including spirituals and shaken note singing, all from the American sacred music tradition. 4 etudes on American hymns are etudes in 2 senses of the term. For the clarinetist, they are studies of keeping a melody clearly articulated while embellishing it with a lot of different types of figurations, like compound melody. For me, the composer, they are studies of how to convey these tunes in a way that is clearly audible to the general audience, but also refracted through my musical sensibility. To Sarah, I want to say thank you for all the time and effort that you put into learning and performing this piece. And to the audience, I want to say, I hope you enjoy.